Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnes.
And today we're going to give you our review of Pacific Rim the Black, the animated Netflix series, which for some odd reason Wikipedia calls it a Japanese-American adult animated television series, which I feel like I watched the wrong show.
You piqued my interest in the adult animated part.
Right? Oh. I was excited, and I didn't get no giggities, although you think with it being anime brother and sister, I would have got something.
Oh my god, when you think about it. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, you know how many stupid, those kind of things that happens in? It's absurd. Right? Anyways, we got off the wrong foot.
Oh, and then the kid and what he does. Oh. Now we're hitting the whole different
I don't want to
realm.
hit spoilers right off the get-go.
That's what I mean.
I was about to say something, and I'm like, wait, we'll give you a warning before I start ruining things.
Now we hit a whole different realm of this Onisha part.
I'm confused. But
get it?
Anyways, if you guys haven't seen the anime, it takes place in Australia in the universe of Pacific Rim, where the continent pretty much they give up on. It goes code black, and they pretty much have forsaken Australia to the Kaijus. So they go to evacuate. Not everybody gets to evacuate. So
go figure.
The kids, things happen. Kids get stuck on the continent, and then through shenanigans happening, they come across a Jaeger named Atlas Destroyer. Stupid Zilla puppet decided to call it Alpha Destroyer. Not sure why. Went through that entire video. You think Zilla would have figured out that he was saying the wrong name at some point?
It's not the car, Steve. It's the driver.
Don't you tell... Zilla is his own sentient being, so when he makes mistakes, it's all on him.
I don't think it works that way,
That is 100% how it works. I do not have a mental illness. Anyways. So they find a Jaeger. It's a training Jaeger. And they decide...
It's a trainee Jaeger, so it's got
training Jaeger. That's why he didn't have weapons.
I thought you said trainee. I was like, so it's got both?
It's 2021, man. I'm not allowed to judge anymore.
Touche. Move on.
And they take the Jaeger to try to go get off the continent, essentially. So, first and foremost, animation-wise, I thought it was going to be more of a turnoff than it was. Because my one big thing about the Godzilla ones is the animation, while being a little bit choppy on that one, I really hated the fight scenes and any kind of like dynamic action. Looked either slow or not much was happening. Well, Pacific Rim...
It takes you about 2 episodes to get used to it, we'll say.
Yeah, it's like episode about 2. Like, the way the human characters talk and stuff, it's weird, but, like, once you start getting into it, you kind of lose track of it at that point. And the fight scenes are far and above an improvement over the Godzilla.
I feel like the budget was just like, here's a Godzilla, here's the Pacific Rim budget.
Yeah,
Big gap right there.
And even, like, the character designs I thought were really good in it.
Yeah.
The Kaijus look cool. The Jaegers look sweet. We even get, like... a few flashbacks of some older Jaegers and a little bit more.
Which I really appreciate because they stayed true to the movies, but they didn't take everything from the movies. It was just enough bits to be like, oh, hey, I remember that. Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
Well, that's like, too, because it brings up stuff from both.
Yeah.
So even if you didn't really like maybe Uprising as much, I still thought Uprising was fun.
I enjoyed it.
Still the best Power Rangers movie we've gotten. It was great. Not a great Pacific Rim sequel, but Power Rangers was great. But it was cool to get some little bit of tie-ins on that. So it kind of explained how the solo drifts work a little bit better.
Yeah.
And it kind of dived in a little bit too on drift compatibility. Because a lot of people made fun of it because with the first one and even the second one, where it just seems like everybody's drift compatible. And this anime kind of drove it home that there's got to be something there.
Yeah, you can't just be two dum-dums, or otherwise you'll go,
have a stroke after doing so many drifts. So I always thought that was cool with the animation. Again, the designs were sweet. Atlas Destroyer. I think the one thing about Illustrator, I'm still not really that into the color scheme. The orange and blues is a little bit weird, but like in terms of the way the animation style was, it wasn't as big of a turnoff there either as I thought it was going to be.
I think it just, when I seen the figure, I'm like, ew.
Yeah, I was like, it's a little weird.
Yeah,
but like
in the show, it kind of, I guess it blends in the way they drew it. The drawing style of it kind of blends in, so it semi works out. But when you
especially
look at,
like the environments.
yeah, but when you look at the figure by itself, you're like, ew.
Yeah, especially like when they arrive to like the first city and they got to find a power supply.
Yeah.
Like the coloring there with like the smog and everything worked out really well. The story I thought was actually pretty engaging and it had a really nice pace to it for the most part. I would say the middle portion of the anime.
Oh my god.
Probably took a little too long.
My biggest drawback to this movie is
Anime.
Show. Television series.
Shut
Adult
the hell up, Steve.
television series.
Let me talk about my adult porn, okay?
Go for it.
Is the biggest drawback to this movie. Beginning, exciting. Middle was like this long right here, Steve. Just extended it way too long, and it was boring and annoying as shit. There was at least like 2.5 episodes they could have cut out. Did something else in there. I don't give two craps about that guy or his backstory.
I would have liked to have seen something more done with the Jaeger.
Or how he was mind raping people. Don't care about any of that stuff.
That's spoiler. We have to wait.
Don't care. I didn't spoil anything. He was just mind raping people. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, sort of. 100% spoiling.
Exactly.
Like, it's not ruining any plot, but sort of is.
Don't care about that scene.
Anyway. But the villain was alright. Shane was it?
The villain?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane O'Mac.
Yeah, Shane O'Mac. And then this is where you also meet one of the other characters that's probably going to be, if the series keeps continuing, going along, May, I think that's how you say her name. Which I actually liked her. There's actually a scene towards the end of the movie that, or yeah, you got me still calling it that now. Towards the show that I thought was funny because there's like the dance scene.
Yeah.
I like that part.
Which was kind of choppy if you really stop and look at it when they dance. It was
like I said, the stuff with the people, it's maybe it could be a little smoother, but like the Jaeger fights, the Jaeger Kaiju fights,
which what you're here for.
Yeah, what you're here for is really good. And granted, you don't get a lot of it, but when it happens, it's awesome. Especially like the first episode. First episode is fantastic. Last episode, also pretty fantastic. Granted, the ending got me confused, but also intrigued on where this is going to be going.
You know what really was semi like confusing / annoying is how they transition from the scene of like what the girl thinks what she did was wrong, right? And there's like a whole episode where she's just like beating herself up over it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute.
And then it just completely stops. And then halfway through the show, another episode, she does the same thing and then stops. And then again. Well, there's like no transition in like her thoughts on it. It's just like, boom, done, flatline. Oh, there's another heartbeat. Boom, flatline. It was like, made it feel like, they made it feel like it was an important part of the show, but it actually wasn't.
I could kind of see where you're going with that.
It was kind of agitating, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I guess we'll start getting into the spoiler stuff. So overall, like, I really enjoyed the show.
Oh God, yeah.
Like,
my little nitpicks are nothing compared to what the actual show was, how good it was.
Yeah, like definitely into a lot of the tie-in stuff. I think it's probably my favorite one we've gotten.
Yep.
So far. Like, especially, like, CG anime-wise, it's easily my favorite one.
But, Steve, one of my favorite Mechagodzillas comes from the CG.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no. It's not even funny to joke about that. That thing would just suck.
Who the fuck thought make a goddamn
I was going to take my 3D printer as a joke. I'm going to print out Mechagodzilla and it's just going to be a building. Call it today.
Oh my God, you know what? That would be the greatest thing because it would get views.
Sadly it would, but I'd feel bad about it.
And then just at the end, we got to hook up like Mechagodzilla's tail.
I'll put some spikes on it.
Yeah. building with a tail and some spikes. It'd be great.
But anyways, I guess we could dive a little bit into the actual plot. So we're going to start with the end. So if you guys want to stop here, I won't stop you. But it kind of is weird that the kid that they find is a Kaiju Jesus?
All right, so I knew right off the beginning.
I knew he was special and he had something to do with the aliens.
I knew from the beginning what that kid was. As soon as I seen him, that he had his own individual power source and he was still alive inside of that tank, I knew he was the experiment, that he was the hybrid Kaiju / human.
I thought he was got something more to do with the Kaiju Jaeger, which is cool that like they actually that is like legitly the one from Uprising.
Yeah.
I thought it was neat.
That was cool.
So it stayed alive by eating kaijus.
It was great, actually.
Yeah, that was cool. Then he gives that's where we get our weapon from. Is he gives it to the Jaeger? He's like, "Here, look at this. You need to defend yourself."
Which I don't.
Which is kind of cool because now we're gonna see that thing pop back up, and it's gonna be kind of like an ally.
Yeah, it'll eventually.
They'll probably have to deal with it at some point.
Yeah, eventually somebody's gonna have to deal with it. You can't let that thing roam.
But I need a toy.
Toy, yes, that would be a great toy.
The Robot Spirits one.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of the toys, that Robot Spirits one kind of upsets me because like it's more traditional Robot Spirits.
Yeah.
While we had like the cheap American ones, and now we're back to having like the good figures.
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, I was just like, why couldn't I just have these for Uprising?
The other thing about that show that really was like confusing or frustrating is that those kaiju dogs were created or controlled by other kaiju / human hybrids.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. If there's something like
that believe the kid is a kaiju Jesus, and
He's
so
the Messiah.
confused. Like there was not a lot of explaining to do within that vicinity circle.
Yeah, it's weird. That and the kid didn't even like deal with a cat. Was it Category 4 Kaiju?
Yeah, he couldn't even beat
Yeah,
him.
he couldn't even beat that. I'm supposed to be impressed.
Like he took a beating. Like,
But that scene was cool.
no, the scene was cool. Don't get me wrong, but
Where he goes to defend Defender and just like rah, and the giant Kaiju monkey.
I guess the other thing that would really bug me would be how that girl feels guilty that she killed all the people and then just cuts it out. Like completely deletes it for a few episodes and then brings it up when she tries to drift, you know? And then it just cuts it out again and then they bring it up in the end. Like there's like no transition. There's nothing there. It's like she feels guilty for like half a second and then just non-existent.
I personally, that didn't really bother me because there's not really like, and maybe it could have been done a little smoother, but I like the fact that they kept kind of bringing it up that this was a thing that was bugging her. Instead of it just being like, oh, first episode to kill some people, I feel kind of bad about it, and after the second episode, we're just like, moved on with it and not called a day. Like, I like that she has like, literally like, has traumatic experiences, and these experiences are going to keep kind of plaguing her until she resolves it.
I'm okay with that, but there was like no transition. It's just like first episode it brought it up. Okay, I get it. Second, third, fourth episode, you forgot about it, and then it just comes up again.
To be honest, I was more bothered by the whole May thing where she's like saves them, ends up leaving the camp, but then runs away, and then they find her, and now she's like, okay, I guess I'm coming with you guys again.
I was
she
getting
bailed
to that part.
Like that was the one I was just like, we just go with it. Although we got the dance scene out of it, and that one made me, I don't know, it made me happy inside. It made me want them to do figure arts of them.
I feel like the worst part of this movie would be the human
Television stuff. Continue.
God bless it, Steve. The TV show would be the human, like, talking to other humans or, you know, trying to connect with other humans would be the worst part of this TV show.
I feel like almost everybody is very shitty individuals outside of May, who still is rough around the edges, but she got there.
Yeah.
And then the kids. Maybe I guess the one thing I kind of respect out of this anime is the one, like, right off the get-go, you have, like, the main like Taylor. I think that was his name. The
Yeah.
guy, his love, like he has a love interest at the beginning of the anime, and like the girl has a friend, and there's all this stuff, and they just get murdered. They get murder-fied. I was like, bravo, anime, you went there.
Oh, within the first episode, I was really upset at the art style of that show. But then the first episode, when they all got murdered, I was like, okay, you know what? We forget about this. We'll just watch this.
We'll try it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it had to do with like I think the actual like models for the human characters. I liked it. Like the way the animation was a little weird, but like overall the design kept me intrigued. And definitely it was a lot more original looking than what we got with like the Godzilla anime. I'm gonna keep kind of tying these two together because they're similar.
Yeah.
But at least the plot made sense. Unlike
Yeah.
those ones.
At least there wasn't a killer city hiding
Yeah,
somewhere.
one of the Jaegers wasn't just a building. And they like, I like the fact too that they took some of the kaijus and kind of like played with them a bit more than what they had.
Yep.
Although it made me sad because there was a Jaeger with machine gun cannons on his arms, like heavy arms from Gundam. And he gets murdered so fast, but he's the coolest one.
You know, Steve, something that we
I
like,
need that.
stuff like that is the first stuff to go. It's
Usually,
like, I like, oh.
the main Jaeger has a whippy arm, whippy freaky dear, but
Dude.
this one's got chains on the ends. I want that guy.
Got
Maybe
nuclear
it's
and
his
everything.
face bitten off.
No.
Made me really sad.
No.
Outside of that, I don't really know how much else there's really to talk about. Like, the fight scenes were good.
Fight scenes were good. The action was good. A little boring at certain parts in the middle, halfway through the show.
Yeah, drag. It made the other one that I like too is like when they all escape that camp and the guy calls them, and then Mr. Sylvester Stallone seizure face dude gets his head blown off, and I'm like, that could have been mine.
That was great.
And everybody's just like, oh, when it happens.
And that's actually one of the things that took me by shock. I kind of figured he had a way of killing them because he's a control freak, but I didn't think it was in a.
Well, I like how he just goes there too, like because like, there was that tie, so you think maybe that might play into something.
No.
Not she is definitely dead to that man.
Yup.
But yeah, outside of that, really enjoyed the anime. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's on Netflix. Recommend it. It's actually a pretty quick watch because it's only 7 or 8 episodes.
8, I think.
I think I still got the Wikipedia thingy popped up here. Shut up, all the episodes. 7.
7?
7. I know it was short.
Hmm.
Which is the only thing that made me sad. The Jaeger is Copperhead.
Copperhead?
I know they said it in the movie.
Man, I'm tired.
You're tired.
Yeah. I worked last night in my bed all night. I was tossing and turning.
I hate your face. Hate your face so much. Anyways, help us defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button, subscribe, become a Ranger Dave. Also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, Facebook. Guys, like to keep up with the day with channel. Don't it? Greatly appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.